Welcome back to the Gold IRA Blueprint Podcast. Today, we're doing a deep dive into gold IRAs, a topic it's generating a lot of buzz these days,
Yeah.
especially among retirees. Those folks looking to fortify their financial futures. We've got some really great research and insights to share. So let's jump right in. And hey, if you're looking for a little extra help navigating the world of gold IRAs, well, we've got you covered. Head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive. For a free checklist, it'll help you choose the right gold IRA company for your needs.
It's definitely a hot topic right now, and for good reason. What's fascinating is that for a long time, gold IRAs were considered something that, well, only the ultra-wealthy dabbled in. But we're seeing more and more everyday investors, particularly retirees, realizing the potential benefits.
Okay, that's interesting. So it's not just about trying to become the next gold tycoon, it's about something more practical for retirement planning.
Exactly. It's about adding a layer of resilience to your portfolio. Most folks already have a mix of stocks, bonds, maybe some real estate, but gold brings something unique to the table.
Right. The article mentioned gold being a hedge against inflation.
Yeah.
With prices rising like they are these days, well, that's definitely top of mind for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Think of it this way. Inflation erodes the purchasing power of your savings. Suddenly, that nest egg doesn't stretch as far as it used to. But gold has this intrinsic value that tends to hold up even when the value of the dollar fluctuates. It's like a built-in protection against those inflationary winds.
Okay. So that makes sense for keeping pace with rising prices. But the article also talked about gold providing stability during uncertain times. Can you unpack that a bit more?
You bet. Think back to any major economic downturn, the 2008 financial crisis, for example. While the stock market went on a roller coaster ride, gold remained relatively stable. In fact, it often goes up in value when other assets are struggling. It becomes this safe haven that people flock to when they're worried about the economy.
So it's like having that anchor in your portfolio, something that can help you weather the storm when things get rough.
Precisely. It's about diversification, but not just in the traditional sense. Gold doesn't follow the same patterns as stocks and bonds, so it adds a different dimension of protection to your retirement plan.
All right. That makes sense. Now, I have to admit, I've always found the whole concept of a gold IRA a bit mysterious. Where do you even keep this gold? Do I need a safe in my basement?
That's a common question, and it's a good thing you don't have to become a home security expert. Here's how it works. You open an account with a custodian, which is basically a specialized financial institution that manages and safeguards your gold IRA assets. Then you fund the account, either through rollovers from existing retirement accounts like a 401k, or by making new contributions. Once the account is funded, you purchase gold. But not the kind you wear. We're talking about investment-grade gold, typically in the form of bars or coins. And this is where the custodian comes in again. They work with an IRS-approved depository to store your gold securely.
So it's like a high-security vault, specifically for retirement savings.
Exactly. It takes the worry and hassle out of storage. You don't have to worry about security, insurance, or any of that. The custodian and depository handle all those logistics for you.
That definitely takes a load off my mind. And I guess it also helps with the whole tax situation, right? I know traditional IRAs have some tax advantages, so I'm assuming gold IRAs work similarly.
You are correct. Just like traditional IRAs, gold IRAs offer tax benefits. Your contributions may be tax deductible, your earnings grow tax deferred, and you don't pay taxes on those gains until you withdraw the funds in retirement. This can be a huge advantage, especially for retirees who want to minimize their tax burden and maximize their retirement income.
Okay, now that's something I think everyone can appreciate. Less money for Uncle Sam, more for enjoying those golden years. But before we dive deeper, I just want to remind our listeners about that free checklist we mentioned earlier. If you're starting to see the potential of a gold IRA, but feel a little overwhelmed by the details, head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive for a helpful guide. That'll walk you through the process. It's a fantastic resource, completely free, and full of valuable insights.
Absolutely. It's a great way to get started and ensure you're making informed decisions.
So, we've talked about gold as a hedge against inflation, a source of stability, and the tax advantages. But the article highlighted 4 key benefits, and I'm curious about that fourth one, long-term growth potential.
That's where things get really interesting. While gold is known for its stability, it also has the potential to appreciate in value over time. If you look at the historical trends, gold has consistently shown an upward trajectory, even when other assets have experienced significant fluctuations.
But isn't gold considered a safe haven asset? Not necessarily a high-growth investment?
That's true. It's not about getting rich quick with gold. It's about steady long-term growth. a way to preserve and potentially increase the purchasing power of your savings over the course of your retirement. Think of it like this. Gold has intrinsic value. It's a tangible asset with real-world demand. That demand isn't going away anytime soon. In fact, as populations grow and economies develop, that demand is likely to increase, which could drive the price of gold even higher.
That makes a lot of sense. But I have to ask, aren't there some downsides to gold IRAs? I've heard people say they're expensive and risky.
Those are common misconceptions. Let's tackle them one by one. First, the cost. Yes, there are fees associated with gold IRAs, just like with any investment, but reputable providers offer transparent pricing, and the fees are often comparable to traditional IRAs.
So it's not like you're paying an arm and a leg just to have gold in your retirement plan.
Not at all. In fact, the potential benefits, like the protection against inflation and market volatility, can outweigh those fees in the long run.
That's reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
Now, what about the risk factor? Isn't gold a volatile investment?
That's where the misconception lies. While gold prices can fluctuate in the short term, over the long haul, it's proven to be remarkably stable. Remember, it's a safe haven asset. People turn to gold when they're seeking stability and preservation of wealth.
So it's more about riding out those short-term ways.
Yes.
And focusing on the long game.
Exactly. It's not about trying to time the market or make a quick buck. It's about building a solid foundation for your retirement. And gold can be a valuable part of that foundation.
Okay, so we've debunked the myths about cost and risk. Now let's talk about choosing the right provider. I know we mentioned our free checklist at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive, but what are some key things to look for beyond that?
The article highlighted some crucial criteria. First and foremost, custodian reputation. You want a custodian with a proven track record, solid financial standing, and a commitment to security and transparency.
So do your homework. Don't just jump at the first shiny offer you see.
Precisely. Take the time to research different custodians, read reviews, compare their offerings, and make sure you're comfortable with their fees and policies.
What about the actual gold itself? Are there different types to consider?
Excellent question. You're not limited to just gold bars. You can also invest in gold coins, which often have numismatic value in addition to their gold content.
Numismatic value, that sounds fancy.
It simply means that some coins are worth more than their melt value because they're rare or historically significant. This can add an extra layer of potential appreciation to your investment.
So it's like having a piece of history in your portfolio. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But how do you know which type of gold is right for you?
That's where a knowledgeable gold IRA specialist can be invaluable. They can assess your individual needs and goals and help you create a portfolio that aligns with your risk tolerance and retirement plan.
It sounds like having the right guidance is key, especially when navigating something as important as your retirement savings.
Absolutely. You wouldn't build a house without an architect. And you shouldn't build your retirement plan without expert guidance.
That's a great analogy. Speaking of guidance, I'm curious about the success stories the article highlighted. They really brought the whole concept of gold IRAs to life. Let's talk about Jane from California.
Jane was a retiree who was concerned about the impact of the stock market on her savings, a very common worry, as we discussed. She decided to allocate a portion of her retirement funds to a gold IRA. And over the next few years, as gold appreciated in value, her portfolio remained protected from market volatility.
So her gold holdings acted as a buffer, helping her ride out those market swings. That's a powerful testament to the stability gold can provide.
It is, and it's a real-world example of how gold can work for everyday investors, not just the ultra-wealthy.
Now let's talk about Robert from Florida. His story is a bit different, right?
Yes, Robert was a successful businessman with a significant portion of his wealth tied up in real estate and stocks. He was smart enough to realize that even with a diversified portfolio, inflation could still erode his savings over time.
So he was looking for a way to hedge against that erosion and protect his hard-earned wealth.
Precisely. He saw gold as a way to preserve the purchasing power of his savings, and it proved to be a wise decision. As inflation rose, Robert's gold holdings held their value, providing him with peace of mind.
These stories are really inspiring. They show that gold IRAs can work for people from different backgrounds and with different financial goals. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution, but it's definitely a valuable tool to consider.
I couldn't agree more. And remember, a gold IRA doesn't have to be your only retirement investment.
Right. It's about finding the right mix of assets to meet your specific needs and goals. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, that's where our free checklist comes in.
Absolutely. It's a great resource to help you get started and make informed decisions about your gold IRA.
Head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive To download your copy today, it's completely free, and it can make a world of difference in your retirement journey.
It's your roadmap to a golden retirement. Literally.
I love it. But before we wrap up, there's one more point from the article I want to touch on. It mentioned that you're not limited to just gold and a gold IRA.
That's right. You can also diversify with other precious metals, like silver, platinum, and palladium.
So it's like creating a precious metals portfolio within your IRA.
Exactly. Each of these metals has its own unique properties and potential benefits. Silver, for example, is often seen as a more affordable alternative to gold, and it has industrial applications that could drive demand in the future.
That's interesting. So you could have a mix of gold and silver to further diversify
Yeah.
and potentially boost your returns.
Absolutely. And platinum and palladium are also valuable metals, with industrial uses that could benefit from technological advancements.
It sounds like there's a whole world of precious metals to explore within a gold IRA.
There is. And it's all about finding the right mix to match your individual needs and goals. And it's all about finding the right mix to match your individual needs and goals.
Well, I have to say, this deep dive has been incredibly enlightening. I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding of gold IRAs and their potential role in retirement planning.
I'm glad to hear that. It's important to be informed and to explore all your options when it comes to securing your financial future.
Absolutely. And for our listeners who are intrigued by the possibilities, don't forget about our free checklist. It's a great resource to help you get started and make informed decisions about your gold IRA.
It's packed with valuable tips on choosing the right provider, avoiding scams, and making the most of this investment opportunity.
Head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive to download your copy today. It's completely free, and it could be the first step towards a more secure and fulfilling retirement.
Don't wait. Take control of your financial future and start building the retirement of your dreams.
And here's a final thought to leave you with. Given the current economic landscape, with all its uncertainties, how might adding a gold IRA to your portfolio provide you with peace of mind and potential growth? It's a question worth pondering as you plan for your golden years.
Until next time, be well and invest wisely.
Well, I have to say, this deep dive has been incredibly enlightening. I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding of gold IRAs and their potential role in retirement planning.
I'm glad to hear that it's important to be informed and to explore all your options when it comes to securing your financial future.
Absolutely. And for our listeners who are intrigued by the possibilities, don't forget about our free checklist. It's a great resource to help you get started and make informed decisions about your gold IRA.
It's packed with valuable tips on choosing the right provider, avoiding scams, and making the most of this investment opportunity.
Head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive to download your copy today. It's completely free, and it could be the first step towards a more secure and fulfilling retirement.
Don't wait. Take control of your financial future and start building the retirement of your dreams.
And here's a final thought to leave you with. Given the current economic landscape with all its uncertainties, how might adding a gold IRA to your portfolio provide you with peace of mind and potential growth? It's a question worth pondering as you plan for your golden years.
Until next time, be well and invest wisely.